Today we're going to show you how to change the outer barrel from the Beretta KWA. This is the original. This is actually stock and comes with this orange tip, and I'm going to change it with the G&G Armament outer barrel. The reason is because it has an adapter for the suppressor, which is right here, which is also a G&G Armament. The model is the SS-100 for the suppressor. Doesn't seem to be a part number for the outer barrel, but it is for the specifically for the KWA Beretta. Anyway, what we're going to do here is to show you first the parts. This is the outer barrel, and this is the adapter that goes here. The suppressor comes with, of course, the suppressor itself, and then there is also another adapter which we're not going to use. Alright, let's start first by disassembling the gun, and here we go. We put the receiver aside, and first thing to do is take out the spring with spring guide. Be careful because it can pop and go all over the place, and here are the two pieces. Then there is by the way, I'm not too familiar with the names of each part, so bear with me, but there is this part that goes up and down, and then we can slide the barrel out. Now the barrel has the pop-up and the inner barrel, of course. There is a little pin here which slides in and out, and this is retained by a pin through a small hole here. There's a bigger hole here which also has a pin, which is the retainer for the inner barrel itself, and I'll show you later what it looks like. I am going to use these two punches. One is if I can read it, a 1/16 pin punch, and this one is 5/32 pin punch. I'm also using this big one, which I'm going to use as a hammer, basically. Okay, the first thing to do is to remove the small pin. I believe this is just a simple push, and there you go. Here's the pin, and here's the little slider pin inside. There's a tag at the bottom here. Now for the bigger pin, it's a little more complicated because there is a spring inside also, so you have to be careful. And first we're going to tap it a little to sort of start going through the hole. So here's halfway, and then you just basically push it out, and here's the pin. Now you are going to pull out the inner barrel like so, and here's the outer barrel, original. As you can see, here's the slot, which is at the same height as the big hole, and the pin basically rests here, and that's how it stops. Here's the big oops, as you can see, we have to be careful because there's a lot of pieces. There is a spring here, a round guide, and this little U shape or C shape This is actually part of the hop-up. You have to be careful to put it correctly. So let me put it back right. Okay. Now while you're doing this, make sure you're not going to lose sight of how the pieces are together, because otherwise they can I mean, you get in trouble basically. Note on one side there is a little slot, and you have to be careful that this slot needs to be on the top part of the outer barrel. So here's the outer barrel, the new one, and basically it's just a matter of sliding it in. So make sure that the slot is on one side and it stays on the upper part, this upper part here. And by the way, it's slotted also up here to fit slots in the hole in the outer barrel. And there you go. So then, now these holes are slightly bigger than the originals, so they the pins will actually go in easy. You don't need the pin punch. The slider here has a 45-degree face on one side. It goes on the inside between these two parts, and the flat spot at the bottom needs to be where the small pin goes. So you slide it in. And by the way, I'm showing this where I'm not putting any silicone oil here, but obviously you want to put any moving parts, you want to put the oil. These are already oil, so I don't have to do it, but just so that you know. Then you test fit this little part here. It goes into the slot, and then you make sure that it goes up and down like so. Alright, now you take the slider, put it front first, and then in here you have the there is let's see if I can show it to you better, that part which pushes the BB into the hop-up and the inner barrel basically. So you may have to make sure that that part actually goes into the hop-up, and that's how it rests. Then you put this part, making sure that it goes up and down. As you can see, it has to. There you go. And there's a up and down. The spring guide goes against here. So what you do is you put the spring like this. You put it down until you have it in tension. Then you sort of got it through, and then you slowly but surely butt it against this part. Be careful when you do that, because it could just go like that. And basically it's ready. So we're going to put it back together. And there you go. So for testing, we just, this is an empty magazine, so, and it works. So now for the suppressor, basically you screw this part in, and then you screw the suppressor in. Be careful not to screw it sideways, because you can really mess up the threads. And here is the toggle gun. There you go. And actually actually. Let me do this now. So, pretty cool, right? And that's it. This concludes the video.